What up, YouTube?
For the old man.
That's right. Welcome back. Old Man Games channel. I'm your host, Old Man Games. This is OOTP24, the baseball simulation. GM Kevin Oleman of the Miami Marlins. Episode number 13, coming to you on July 10th. It's a Monday, 2028. As you can see, the team is 39-52. Not so good. 15 and a half games back, fourth place in the division. In this episode 13, what we have on the agenda, a couple of good things. We got one, we're going to overview the standings, look at where we are. Not go into all of the stats, but we'll definitely cover the team page and just see where the team is at the halfway point right now, or at the All-Star break, which is just a few games beyond the numerical halfway point. Let's see, after that, number 2, we're going to check the development report that's dated 7/1 pertaining to June, the one that we skipped out on the last episode. So we'll review that. After that, we will review both the MLB All-Star teams as well as the prospect All-Star teams. It'll be a quick review of the opposite team and a more in-depth review of the teams that our players are on. And then the main event for this episode will be the MLB Draft, which we have coming up in a day. It's on the July 11th, and again, today is July 10th. I'm going to do it like last season, the 2028 season, where I split the draft between a couple of episodes. I'm sure I won't have enough time to get through the entire draft for this episode. I'm not sure, however, at this point as I'm recording this, how many rounds of the draft I will get through. I'm sure by the time you see this title, it'll be a dead giveaway and how many rounds we got through. Let's put it this way, it will at least be 5. So let's see how long it takes us to get through 5 rounds. So let's hop into it. All right, so here we are on our team screen. Again, as I mentioned, Miami Marlins, we're here. We're 39-52 on the season. 15 and a half games back out of first. That's what, about 13 games below 500. At least we're above the Phillies. Let's see, we're nowhere, well, actually, I'm about to say we're nowhere close in the wild card chase, but we're closer in the We're closer in the wild card chase than we are in our division. I don't know if that's good or bad. I guess neither. So far, we don't have a chance, but we'll try to make some moves to see what we can do, because this team is really not that far off when you break it down. I kind of know what the problem is, and if you're looking at it, you might know too. Our averages super low. We're not getting on base. Cedane Rafaela has the highest batting average at 267. Behind him, Eduardo Garcia is at 249, and then Jordan Grosjean's at 247. So as a team, that's not going to cut it. We do have power. Tyler Petterini, yo, I got to give it up to this kid right here, Tyler Petterini.
That boy is
He's
good.
one of the first trades that Kevin Oleman made upon his arrival in Miami. And look at him now. Look at his overall and potential rating. Now, I know that's based on our scouting, but still, Tyler Petterini has come a long way from when he first, go back and check, I think it's in episode number 2 when Kevin Oleman came over. If you look at where his profile was at that point to where it is now, you can see a whole lot of development going on here. We don't really have a position for him yet. We kind of do. I mean, he's been playing as our DH. He's currently slated at second base, so he's getting training at second base. I'm thinking about possibly moving him over to first base. If you look here, before we go to our pitching, just to look at the lineup real quick, I think part of our problem is we don't really have solid hitting in these first 2 spots. Oh, also too, quick note, Jonathan Aranda Now, I'm not going to hold this 197 average against him. He just took over for Jordan Groshans. Like, literally, as I was editing episode 12, I was looking at, looking at my teams, looking at all levels of my team, looking at the entire organization, making promotions, demotion, moving people around. And I did a manager reboot, where you go to the manager and you ask him for his recommendations on the starting lineups, and they switched it and put Jonathan Aranda in for Groshans. So I think development wise, he's overtaken Groshans to become the starting first base. So I want to see, I'm gonna let him play this out a few games. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold the 196 against him because he hasn't been starting so far all season. So that's 196 in backup duty. He might be better as a starter. Now we have power. If you look at this in our 3, 4, 5 holes, 16, 18, 14 home runs. That's solid power. 44, 48, 52 RBIs. They're driving in runs home. We just not really getting on base. I believe it's in these 2 spots right here. Beavers, he's kind of struggling. I might send him down, possibly. I'll see how he finishes out July. If he doesn't make any significant improvement, I might send him down in July and bring someone else up in his place, and then let him come back in the month of September when the roster expands. Okay, here's the Dane Rafaela. Again, like I said, he's leading the team in batting average. He has 6 home runs, 23 RBI. He's solid so far. Noah Miller, he continues to improve. Previously, he was under the Mendoza line. Then he was just barely above the Mendoza line. Don't get me wrong, he's still not that far above it, but I'm seeing continuous growth so far. And at least we're just talking batting averages. Then Will Banfield, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really expect much from my catchers. My catchers are more defensive players, so anything that they can provide will always be considered a plus. So again, just to run through this, I already called out the batting average, the RBIs. So Eduardo Garcia, remember this is he was previously a shortstop. We got him from Milwaukee. This is one of the first trades as well that Kevin Oleman made upon his arrival. We converted him from shortstop to third base. He has decent power, more power than Groshans, who was our previous third base. Now, the way I kind of want to build this roster, I want to have power on my infield corners, at least on the batting, right? I want all of my infielders to be solid defensively. See, as you can see here, Aranda, he's rated at 65 at first base. He's solid on errors. That's a 55. That's good. See, I want them to be at least, high on that error attribute so that they don't get too many errors. Errors are going to happen, but I want as few as possible. I put it like this. I want my team to be among the best defensively, which we have been doing so far, and I'll get to that. Just like we did last season. We just got to get it. We got to turn it on with the offense. So what I'm saying is, if I can get power at that first base and third base, we got the power at third base, so we might have to make some changes here at first base, especially with Aranda overtaking Groshans. I'm saying all that to say, Groshans, he's not officially on the trading block, but unofficially he's on the trading block. Another guy who's on the unofficial trading block is this guy, Jazz Chisholm, the veteran 30-year-old. He's been struggling this season, and what I really don't like is this avoid K attribute. We got a handful of guys with that attribute on the team. As you can see now, last season was his first season. I wonder if that was his only season. Let's see. Where he had more hits than strikeouts. Yep, damn, that was literally his only season in the major leagues. Last season was his only season in the major leagues where he had more hits than strikeouts. This season so far, he has way more strikeouts than hits. So that's one thing that bothers me about him. And then he's not stealing at the same clip that we're used to seeing him steal at, even though he has this. Now that part of that is the manager's fault, but I'm kind of disappointed in Jazz Chisholm. All right, when you look at our pitching has turned around. Our pitching has really come around. Hogan Harris really leads the way. His ERA is down to 2.58. Connor Phillips, he was questionable. I questioned him being a starter, but his ERA is at 2.77 and he has 6 wins. And then look, Hogan Harris leads in strikeouts over Yuri Perez. Hogan Harris is having a really good season, man. 5-5, 258. But look at our entire starting lineup. Now their win-loss, you know, we can look past that. Look at their ERAs though. And then our bullpen, Max Meyer, he got 20 saves so far. His ERA is way higher than what I would like to see from my closer. I was about to call him a saver, but that's a bit higher than I would want to see from my closer. And then the bullpen guys that they're showing, I think Bryce Miller might be on my chopping block as well. The 29-year-old, he's solid, but his ERA is just, I don't see it in the performance. And then if you look here, our minor league system, AAA team 46-41 so far, that's good. AA team 45-36 so far, they're in first place. AAA team is in third. Our high A team, Beloit Sky, they're in first place as well, 56-25. They got the best minor league record. Our A team, Jupiter Hammerheads, they're 42-30. They're also in first place. And then my rookie teams, the FCL team is struggling mightily at 4-16. They're in sixth place. The first team, Dominican squad, they're in third place at 15-8. And then the second team, Dominican squad, is at 4-16 in ninth place. So that's what our minor league team is doing. Yeah, and this is pretty much where we are right now at the halfway point, and that'll be that. Okay, so next up we are here at our mailbox screen, and I've come to the mail on our development update. Again, here is the development update dated July 1st pertaining to the month of June. Not a lot of players on here, but let's take a look at what we got. Max Meyer, I was just speaking on him. He's on the list with a plus and a minus. His control rating improved, but his overall potential rating dropped. Let's take a look at him. He looks pretty solid still. That ERA is just horrendous. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and see what the second half of the season brings. Kyle Bradish, that's one of our starters. He's on here with 2 negatives. His current and potential move, so that's really like 3 negatives. His current and potential movement dropped from 65 to 60. His current stamina rating dropped. Oh, see, here's a random. Remember I said he must have improved because he overtook Groshans at first base. His current and potential eye improved from 50 to 55, so that should help his bat. And again, he's in a critical spot in that 2 hole. So I think he's gonna do well. I'm gonna see. I think I'm gonna give him a shot though. And then overall and potential, his overall and potential rating improved from 2.5 to 3 stars. So here he is, and here's what his season has been so far. Only 122 plate appearances in 53 games, and he's only started 22. So we'll see if he can do better with more opportunities. Okay, and then here are some of our minor league players. Good to see Ian Henderson and Spencer Tokerson with all pluses. Adrian Pinto, all pluses. Zach Levinson. Now he's listed right here as a left field, and that's what this scouting update is based on. But FYI, I recently just changed his position to first base. So I want him to get some development at first base. He's already developed here at left field. And, you know, I mentioned already there's that one left fielder who was kind of struggling. I forget his name right now, but that I mentioned who I might drop down to AAA. If I do that, it'll be for Zach Levinson because he has a really solid bat. But again, I just want him to get development at first base. And then Spencer Tokerson, this first baseman, I moved him back to left field. I originally, when I traded for him from Boston, he was a left fielder, and then I moved him to first base. But I just moved him back so that Levinson can get reps at first base. And this is all on the AAA level. Joey Volchko with all pluses. Jabin Trotsky with all negatives. That's no good. Demivi Tainio, I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm not sure. All pluses. That's good. Jorge Morales, the 16-year-old that we just picked up in the free agent signing period. He's on there with all pluses. His potential rating improved from 2 to 2.5, so that's good to see. And then Sergio Cardoso, I think this is another one if I'm not mistaken, another international free agent that we just picked up. We have them both on our second team rookie Dominican League squads, and they are both showing signs of improvement. So that is the development update for the month of June. Next, let's get into the All-Star teams, which is just scrolling up our inbox. Okay, here is the MLB All-Star squads. This is first the American League team. I'll just slowly scroll through just to show who the players are for documentation purposes. All right, that's the American League team. Here's the National League team. I'll call it out now. I believe our pitcher Hogan Harris is the only All-Star we have. Let me double check. Yeah, so this season we only have one All-Star, and that's starting pitcher Hogan Harris. And I called him out on the home page. Now, obviously, I knew he made the All-Star team, but hey, he's having a hell of a season. He's better than our ace right now. His ERA is under 3.0. Hell, it's under 2.6. His WHIP is under 1. His K per 9 ratio is 10.3. He has a 3.0 WAR. He's pitched just under 100 innings. Man, he's having a hell of a season. We picked Hogan Harris up from Oakland. That was a trade we made last season at the trade deadline.
Got him!
He's a lefty. But yeah, he's having an incredible season so far this year. He's our only All-Star, and that'll be that. So next we have the Prospect All-Star teams. Here's the American League Prospect All-Star team. I think that's the whole team there. Yeah, I'll just show it. I'll freeze it here on screen to show these names for documentation. These are the future stars of all of baseball, not just the American League. We'll see how many of these players stick with their teams that they're coming up with right now. But these are the guys who they say are the future stars. On the National League team, we have a number of players on this team. Starting pitcher Jorge Cartagena. This is our first round draft pick, by the way, from last season. We got starting pitcher David Rivera on the team. We got also second baseman Maximus Martin on the team. He's on our AAA team. Jorge Cartagena, it says AA here, but I recently moved him up to AAA. I'm gonna show his profile too in a moment, but I just want to call that out. Okay, and that's it. So we had the two pitchers and the second baseman. Here's Jorge Cartagena. He's now up to 2.5 stars overall with 5-star potential. His development is coming along nicely. Here, let me show his pitching stats from here. So if you look, We drafted him out of college, out of the University of Oklahoma. He also had a development year in the MLB Prospect League before he got to us. And then in 2027, he played in our rookie ball, but he only pitched 5.1 innings. In rookie ball, I moved him up then to high A ball, where he pitched 42 more innings. And this is what he did. Not too bad, pedestrian 514. Then so far this season, the first half of the season, we started him in AA. He did pretty well. He's up to AAA now. We moved him at during this break, so he hasn't played any AAA games yet. But so far, this is what he did in AA, which earned him an all-star spot. He's also the number 7 rated prospect in all of baseball. So my developmental plan for Jorge is I'm gonna let him pitch on AAA to get accustomed and acclimated there, and then from now until the expansion, and then most likely, knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't get hurt. If he stays healthy, he's gonna be, so normally when we have the roster expansion, we can go up by 2 players. I'll call up a batter and a pitcher. So Cartagena will most likely be the pitcher that I call up. All right, then here's the other pitcher who made the prospect all-star team, David Rivera. He's a scouting discovery from 2023, so this was before Kevin Oleman's time. He's currently the number 19 prospect in all of baseball. He looks really good. He got 4 pitches, a right-hander, 6 feet, 175. These are his stats. Let me go quickly to his pitching page, and this is what he's done in his minor league career so far. And then, mind you, these 3 years right here with him on the FCO team, that was when everything was jumbled and messed up before I caught and corrected it. All right, so that's David Rivera. And then the last guy is another guy we inherited, Maximus Martin, 24-year-old. He's getting up there in age, but he's in AAA now. So he's trying to get accustomed. So far, he's kind of struggling. His average is down to 219, but we're getting him there. So we'll continue to develop him. All right, and now next, I'm gonna fast forward to, I'm gonna sim to one day over to the MLB Draft. I'll do a quick overview of where we are in the draft and then hop right into it. All right, boom, so I fast forwarded. We are now here on draft day. I stayed in my inbox because I just wanted to quickly show the draft email that we got here, showing the top 10 prospects of the draft. So a couple high school players, a college player, more high school players, another college player, high school, and then college players. So the top 10, Eric Forbes, Wally Hoff, Michael Gordon, Yamani Yelder, Pierluca Timbers, Sergio Cervantes, Ramiro Alvarez, Greg Phillips, Jesus Revilla, and Juan Caldera. Those are the top 10. Another thing I want to show too that I think will be pretty cool here is a piece of our development, one of our development leagues I'll highlight at this point, just because we're about to get into the draft. So let me quickly try to go over this. Okay, so I've hopped over to the Perfect Game League. Here so far are the league standings for 2028, as you can see among the 16 teams. But what I want to show also is, if I go here to Dallas, the Dallas Patriots, they're 14-8 so far this season. But what's really cool is if you look at their organization, this is their current team roster, right? Well, actually here. If I sort this by age, I can get a gauge and a feel for all of the draft prospects who are currently playing in the Perfect Game League. And that'll pretty much be like the 18-year-olds who are high school seniors, or there may even be some 17-year-olds who are seniors. But like, for instance, they have 3 18-year-olds. Let me check the 17-year-old. He is he's a sophomore. But these 18-year-olds, like this guy, he's a senior. So he could potentially get drafted, Luis Morales, right? This guy, Eddie Pierce, he could potentially get drafted. And this is his 3rd year on their development team. From here, I could just flip through all the teams in the league and look at all of their draft prospects just at a glance. And if I wanted to, but see, we're already scouting them. So most of them are already, like if I were to look through all of them, most of them will already mostly be high because I have my scouts scouting, you know, minor leaguers. So by default, all the players who play in these development leagues, they get scouted by my scouts as they scout, you know, these leagues basically. All right, that's Kansas City. Oh, look at this. Kennesaw got a really high prospect on their team. Mike Heinz, a right fielder. All right, remember this name, Mike Heinz. I'm not gonna put him on any kind of a short list or anything. I have to save short list base. So I do normally run a short list for my draft picks, but not the draft prospects. But keep an eye on him. The Kennesaw Titans, they're only 9-13. They must be bad on pitching, but they definitely got a pro prospect on their hand. What's cool too is if you follow some of these players, the ones who don't get drafted, like for instance, I doubt now this Robbie Jeffords, I doubt he gets drafted. He could always get drafted. I doubt it though. But if he doesn't and he goes to college, like for instance right now he's just a junior, so he couldn't get drafted anyway. He's just a super duper junior. He's old. Let's see, Las Vegas doesn't have any, because you know a lot of times the 18-year-olds they'll opt out and not play. Not all the players play every season. Some players will play their freshman, sophomore, junior year, and they won't play their senior year. Some will just play their senior year, so it's all over the place. Some will play all 4 or all 3. So the really good players are like the really young guys, like this 15-year-old right here, Josh Hensley. But keep an eye on him though. He'll most likely be in the major leagues one day, or damn near close to it. See, they got a couple 18-year-olds, but I doubt they get drafted. See, like this one right here, Andres Arriaga, he's committed to Butler Junior College. He'll go there for a couple years, and he could probably go to a 4-year if we track them. But it's just dope how, you know, the players that play through this perfect game league, you can see them matriculate through each level. Let's see, on the Nashville squad, they got a good looking shortstop, but he's only 16. He's just a soft, damn. Steve Davis, keep an eye on him in the future. Currently on the Nashville Knights. New Jersey, they got an 18-year-old. Oh, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, this dude could potentially get drafted. Hell, I would draft him straight out of high school. Chris Lindsay. We're gonna see if he's still available in the later rounds. Keep an eye on him. That's somebody we could pick up in the later rounds. I'm talking like after the 10th round. They got an 18-year-old, but he's just a 1-star, so he's most likely going to college. He's committed to Missouri State University. South Carolina has an 18-year-old, but he's just a junior. South Florida got a couple 18-year-olds, but they don't look good. This guy's committed to the University of Michigan. He most likely will go to Michigan. He don't have the velocity, but you could potentially see him a couple years down the line though, Robbie Cole. And then this guy, Dusty Padgett, he's committed to Bradley University. I could definitely see him going to Bradley and continuing to develop. Okay, Vancouver has a couple 18-year-old. He doesn't have the stuff though, but his movement and control looks good. Joey Coleman, he's committed to Notre Dame. Then Bobby Siebert right here, he's just a junior. Yoshifumi, a senior. He's committed to the University of Illinois. I'm pretty sure he'll go to college. Who else they have? Okay, so that's just a quick thing I like to do before the draft. I would look through all of the development leagues actually, but which again, just to remind you all, we have the Perfect Game League. We also have the MLB Draft League. So there's college players in this league right here who I look through and quote unquote scout. I just do like an eyeball test like I just did for those high school kids. There's also the MLB Prospect League. So we got 16 teams here. This is what they're doing so far this season, their top teams. And then there's also the Cape Cod League for college players, right? So that's how our development leagues work. That's why I have them here. I'll look through these all in preparation for the draft. So let's hop into the draft without further ado. All right, so we are here on the draft page. We have the 7th round pick. In the first round, it was number 5, but they do the lottery, so it got jumbled. Now we got number 7. That previously was the Dodgers. Anyway, from there on, from the 2nd round through the 20th round, we are the number 5 pick. All right, now I'm most likely gonna just go through the top 5 picks. Again, the way this works, I just come back and show the pick that we select and I'll talk about him. But I don't go through my deliberation process on how I picked them, other than to say how, I use my filters. I filter on work ethic and leadership abilities. I think this isn't marked right now, actually. So I'll start like this and then I'll filter my way through, to look for players, looking for players that fit our mold. All right, so let me get ready. Let me go through, pick the first player. I'll come back and show you who we got. Okay guys, we've settled in on our first pick here. It's a tad bit controversial in that with the 7th overall pick, it's someone who is outside of that top 10 that we saw in that email, but I'm totally good with that. This player fits our profile as well as a bit of a need that I see, within the near-ish future. So I say within the next 3 to 5 years, I can see him making a splash on the MLB level. But who we're gonna roll with is a college junior out of West Virginia University, a guy by the name of Mike Massey, a first baseman. Big Mike is 6'8", 230 pounds. He's out of Back Mountain, PA, not to be confused with Brokeback Mountain.
What do you mean by that?
See, he's a lefty. He throws right, so he's a lefty batter who throws right. In this game, it doesn't matter where they throw for first baseman, so you can throw that out the window. Let's see, again, he's a junior. He has 3 years of college ball as well as 3 years of development league ball in the MLB Prospect League with the Alton River Dragons. His injury proneness is durable, which, I like that. He has really good batting potential for his top 3. His bottom 2 are questionable, but hopefully we can develop him into something beyond what his current potential and current ability show. So that's a big hope and a big if. His glove isn't the best. That's another thing we look to develop in our system. Worst case scenario, he'll be a DH, a glorified DH. But best case, he can develop into a first baseman and provide defensive support as well. He's a line drive hitter, normal ground ball tendency. A pull hitter is his fly ball tendency. Quick look at his stats. Again, 3 years of college ball, 3 years of development ball with Alton River. I think in the development ball, even though it's a smaller sample size, you could really see where he is against the elite competition, even though he played for a good college. But the thing is, when you look at, another thing is, I checked out his current development league team and he's the best player on that team. But yeah, what I was gonna say is, in each of his college seasons, he has more hits than strikeouts, but in each of his development seasons, even though again smaller sample size, he has more strikeouts than hits. But yeah, so this will be our first round pick, Mike Massey, the junior out of West Virginia. On to round 2. Okay, everybody, we're back and we have settled in on a left-handed pitcher, 6'2", 205 pounds, out of the University of Mississippi, DJ Bartell. Again, he's a left-handed pitcher, bats left-handed as well, 21 years old. in 298 days, so he'll be 22 just shortly here. Lefty. He has 1 year of college and 1 year of development ball. He's currently in the MLB Prospect League playing for the Clinton Lumberjacks. His injury proneness is durable, which, you know, I love that. I want to say that's 2 back-to-back durable players. Here are his attributes. Although it has 3 pitches listed, I'm looking at him as a future 2-pitch reliever. And really, truth be told, I'm looking at him as a future closer. Currently 1.5 star overall, potential 3.5 stars. What I like about his game as a pitcher, he has good velocity. He's a ground ball tendency, power type pitcher. His velocity is 95 to 97. They say he expects starting rotation, but that's not gonna happen, my guy. He has decent stamina. If he could develop another pitch, I mean, hey, starting rotation is not completely out the question. His hold runners is 75. I really like that. I really like that a lot. I know a lot of that is due to the fact that he's a lefty, so that helps. And then his defensive rating at pitcher is 60, so that's pretty decent defense for a pitcher. So I like that a lot. Quick look at his stats. Again, the 1 year of college and 1 year of development league. He's held his own in development league so far in 31.1 innings. Got 14.1 Ks per 9. So I really like that. I like that a lot. So that's our second pick right there, DJ Bartell. Moving on to pick number 3. Okay, y'all, we are back with our third pick, the number 5th pick in the 3rd round. We're going to roll with yet another college left-handed pitcher. This time it's a starting pitcher, a 21-year-old from Jacksonville State University, born in Sacramento, California, Joel Combs, 5'11", 180 pounds. So this is what Joel looks like. He's a college pitcher with 3 years of college ball plus 3 years of development in the MLB Prospect League for the Cape Catfish. He's another durable player, so I really love that. Again, college junior, Jacksonville State University. He's played against good level competition. He should be an easy signing for us. Here are his attributes. What I like about him, besides being a left-handed pitcher, this kid has 6 pitches. His potential stuff isn't like earth-shattering, but I think it will work with this movement that he has. He already has really good movement, and it can develop into more. We just got to help him develop his control. But he has the potential to have really good control, or good enough control, you know. And if he can get that with these 6 pitches, I think he'll be really useful, dangerous in fact. He's also another ground ball pitcher, ground ball tendency pitcher, which we like those, we love those. That's the type of pitching coach we have. Decent stamina, 55. He can hold runners, 65. Again, I attribute that to him being a lefty. It'll be bad for a left-handed pitcher to not be able to hold runners. And then his pitch and defense is it's okay. 50 is better than 40. It's better than below 50. I'll tell you that. 45 and below, it's better than that. Quick look at his college and development league stats. Now, he's been getting rocked in the development league the last 2 seasons. Last year, they lit him up for 5.61 ERA. This year so far, 6.75 in 32 innings. But I'm gonna look past that. I'm gonna let that go. Once I get my hands on him, we're gonna try to develop him our way into our system and our league. So that's who we're taking right there, a 21-year-old college left-handed pitcher as our 3rd round pick. So far, 3 picks, 3 college players. Go figure. On to the next. Okay, we have a 4th round pick here. 4th round pick number 5 is an outfielder listed as a center fielder. But remember, we draft center fielders for outfield in general because they are usually the most athletic. And this is a prime example. CJ Kelly, 6'4", 200 pounds. Birthplace is actually Hollywood, Florida, so he's a native Floridian to an extent. His college is Southeast Missouri University. He's a junior, so we picked up another college junior. This makes the fourth, so we're 4 for 4. What I like about CJ Kelly is the 21-year-old is a switch hitter. He throws right. He's also another durable player, as you can see here. He's a 3-year college player with 3 years of development league and the MLB prospect league for the normal corn belters, which is good because his college level competition was just average.
I like it.
Here's his attributes. He looks like he can develop into a power hitter. You look at these two things, and a decent contact guy. I'm trying to do better with this. We're drafting for better I and avoid Ks. I'm gonna focus on that here on out if I can, if we can find some decent ones. But anyhow, focusing on CJ. He has decent speed, not the best base runner, but hopefully his work ethic and our coaches can improve that and our development scheme. Then here's his outfielding. So as you can see, even though he's listed as a center fielder, that's his weakest long-term position. He's a long-term corner fielder and really more of a left fielder because he kind of doesn't have the arm for right field. Because, you know, the right fielders have to make that throw from right field to third base, so they need an arm. Whereas left field, their biggest throw is just from left field to home, you know? That's just a straight, I mean, they're all straight lines, but I'm saying. Anyhow, he's a much better left fielder, as you can see. But also what I like is high work ethic, low financial ambition. That's also good for a draft prospect to have. Here are his stats again. We've been going hard this draft so far on developmental league players, meaning players who have come up through the development leagues that we set up. So far, all 4 of the college players that we drafted have come up through. Actually, they've all been the MLB PL, the Major League Baseball Prospect League, as a matter of fact. So here's another one, and you can see he's been doing really good. He's in the MLB PL. So the first year 366, the second year 317. Currently he's batting 356. And again, we let them finish out their college season, their college summer league, and then they can come to us to play. But damn, he's doing real good this year. All right, so that's going to be our number 4 pick, CJ Kelly. On to round 5. We're back and we have our 5th round pick, the 5th pick in the 5th round. This is our first high school player, Johnny Winterstein, an 18-year-old switch hitter, 6'5", 190-pound shortstop. I'm gonna see if I can try to develop him into a second baseman as well. Now, the main reason why we drafted Johnny here, as you can see, his injury proneness is only normal, but that's okay. He's a high school guy again, out of Grace Brethren Christian in Maryland. He was born in Dale City, Virginia. They say he's going to be extremely hard to sign, but that's okay. The 450. There was a high school guy that I was eyeing that I wanted to pick up after we got CJ Kelly, who was a guy that we looked at on one of those perfect game league teams, but he ended up getting selected 2 picks after CJ Kelly. Man, I was heartbroken. Anyway, so we're gonna settle in on Winterstein here. When you look at his attributes, he has some development to go, but what I really like is his avoid Ks. Hopefully we can get his eye discipline up. Right now it's horrific. His overall and potential are super low, but the reason why I'm drafting him here again with the 5th overall pick is the speed. His 80 speed is the fastest remaining in the draft. The fastest guy next to him was a 65. So I really want to take advantage of his speed. Remember, those are the things that we look for in terms of, you know, certain attributes. Like if they don't have, you know, power or gap power, we look for somebody who has exceptional fieldings in some kind of way or exceptional speed, which he has, right? He has the maximum speed, so that's the fastest as fast can be. He doesn't have any development, which is okay because he does have 4 years of high school, and he has high work ethic and high intelligence, which I love in all my players. So when you look at his batting stats, it's all high school. So he started 4 years for his high school program, which is good. In his career, he had 133 steals to 23 caught steals. So yeah, we're gonna settle in on him, Johnny Winterstein, for our number 5 pick. We're also going to wrap the episode right here on number 5. We will come back in the next episode to conclude the draft with rounds 6 through 20. So yeah, man, that'll do it. You know who it is.
For the old man.
Until the next time, peace.